Did you know that 90% of communication occurs through nonverbal actions? Your video interview strips almost all your ability to communicate away. In this video, we are going to cover how to eliminate distractions, how to improve your nonverbal video communication, so you're going to have the absolute best conference call you have ever had in your life. All right, so first, video conferencing. Be aware of your entire environment. You want to be alone, and you want to make sure that everyone, wherever you are, knows not to bother you. Now, I have 5 kids going from the ages of 5 all the way up to 13. And I have told all 5 of them not to bother me for the next 2 hours in case it runs that long. So then that way I can keep talking with you and we're not going to be interrupted. I think they're going to listen, but we'll have to see. That's what you have to do too. And then if they do interrupt me, you have to have a way of appropriately dealing with it. So 1, you don't seem surprised. 2, that you seem appropriate with the people who are in your home. You don't want to be short with them if they accidentally interrupt you. You'll be, get out of here. That looks bad. You just be like, oh, okay, I can't talk right now. And then just come back or whatever else you want to say, but you want to be appropriate, cool, calm, and collected. You want to pick a great spot in the house to set up. So now you can see me, I chose the black void in my house to set up tonight. Now there's lots of ways that you can set up. My biggest advice is go to YouTube, go to TikTok and learn how to do better video conferencing. Maybe Snapchat, maybe Instagram, but YouTube and TikTok, from what I've seen, have the best content. Now, when you're going to choose it, you're going to see people with green screens. You're going to see this, see that, a plain wall. Find a plain wall in your place and use that if you got nothing else. A plain wall is easy. It's easy to light. Natural light coming through windows is also better than having to worry about buying any of these other crazy lights. Here tonight, I have over there, it's a desk lamp with a really bright light inside of it, inside of a cutout box with then butcher paper over it. So then that way it creates a nice diffuse light. So if you wind up using a nice diffuse light, don't waste your money on these ring lights and everything else, because if you get ring light reflection in your glasses or on your eyes, it looks really weird on an interview. So don't spend a lot of money. Now, I do have a green screen at this point in my life, but you do not need to have one. I use a green screen so it will show up black on this screen. So we look like we're all, that I'm all part of this one slide. So if you have a green screen, you need to make sure that you light that up too. There's so many things that you need to pay attention to on YouTube. Now, this is another thing. Nobody here has a proper background except for the lower corner here. Now, this one person circled in red decided to bring their phone to the bathroom, right? So there are going to be parts where you're in a group on these video interviews. Don't do that. Now, if you're going to choose to not share your video, make sure you have a good picture of yourself, not just your name showing up. You want a professional, nice picture, potentially the one that you used on your CV. Okay, so it's easy to add that to your profile on Zoom or whichever app that they're going to be using for the interview. So then that way they know what you look like. And then that way you don't have to sit in front of the computer while you're in a waiting room. All right, again, it takes 5 minutes to really learn good etiquette. So just Google it. There's a few things that you want to keep in mind. Use a stationary chair. Do not use a chair with wheels, because if you're constantly rolling around, you look weird, right? It's very hard for them to focus on you. And it's not going to be a big slide like this. Your face is going to be big, front and center. And the other thing is, see, I'm looking right at you. At least I hope I'm looking right at you. I'm not looking down at my slides like this. So if I look down at my slides or the other person's face, I look like I'm not looking at you. However, if I'm looking at that camera on my computer or right at that green dot that I have, it looks like I'm looking at you and talking directly to you. So you need to make sure that you're focused on the person who needs to look at you, not actually on their face, but you're looking through the camera to them. Okay. Many people do this in all these meetings. I'm sure you've seen it, and I don't need to belabor it. Camera angles. Don't worry about camera angles. Just focus on the one camera straight in front of you. You don't want the camera to be above you and you looking like this. You don't want that. You don't want it to be below you and you looking down like this. All right. You want the camera right. Now I'm trying to look at myself and fix it. You want to be front and center. You want to be filling up the whole screen. Worst case scenario, you want to be a little above it, not a little below it. Okay. And finally, what I don't have up on here is stand. I'm standing. One of the best ways to maintain your energy, to actually look great on camera, is standing. You maintain better posture when you're standing rather than sitting in the chair and slouching down. Equipment matters. You can't do these things without a camera. Okay. So you got to have a computer with a camera, a phone with a camera, or whatever with a camera. Okay. You got to have a mic. Now, mics on your phone are great. If you're going to be using your phone for these interviews, you want to make sure that you use either earbuds with a good mic, or you can use the wireless ones as long as the mic is good. You want to be heard. Using just the mic in front of the phone does not sound as the native one on the phone just doesn't sound as good as using a specified mic. And then I'm using a real microphone that's plugged into my computer. Hopefully you can hear me well. It's not in the correct position. So light, we talked about, computer, also really important. Be aware of your environment. So the platform you're going to use. Now, again, some of you may feel I'm wasting your time. You've already looked these things up, and that's great. But this is a problem that everybody who I have meetings with has. What platform are they going to use? Are they going to use WebEx, Zoom, BlueJeans? There's also Microsoft Teams. There's also GoToMeeting. There's Adobe. There's so many different platforms that people use. Once you schedule that interview, ask them which platform they are going to use. Take a day one day and try out all of the platforms. I think you can get a free account with almost every single one. You want to make sure that your computer will work and your video will work and your microphone will work. You do not want it to be a surprise. Now, practice, 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 practice. Practicing these video interviews is one of the most important things. In the show notes, I'm going to share with you the link to InterviewStream. InterviewStream is a company where you log in and they have pre-made questions that will get asked to you in video format, and then you record yourself back. Using that recording, you can then evaluate yourself in a number of ways on how to improve, both content, the way you look, are you saying too much, and a number of different things. You have to do the evaluation. The other nice thing is there's a little share button, but it's not a social media share. When you click that little share button, you can share that video with whoever you want. Programmed friends, colleagues, mentors, clerkship directors, whoever you want. And you should do that so then they can give you direct feedback on what you sound like and what you look like. All right. And finally, what you want to make sure you're doing is, so I'm looking at these slides as my notes, and you all will notice when I look down, you can see I'm not looking at the camera. You want to make sure your notes are pasted right here along the top of the screen. Seeing the face of the person who's on the screen is not nearly as important as them seeing your face. Okay. You want to make sure that you're making constant eye contact. So if you look across quickly at notes, they won't really notice, and you're making great eye contact. Actually, the best thing as far as eye contact, if you can have, a 48-inch TV screen all the way on the other side of the room, a super professional camera that's also all the way on the other side of the room, zoomed in on you with a green screen behind you, that would be perfect. But that also costs around $15,000 to $17,000. So don't do that.